Donald Trump coming out swinging. Donald Trump saying, you know what? No more debates. I'm so happy he said this, because what did I say on this show just yesterday afternoon? What did you hear me saying? No more debates. In other words, she doesn't really play fair. She's not debating. She's not having a real argument. She's not actually talking about policy. She's way out in the stratosphere, left field, as they'd say, just attacking him. Over and over and over, the total mean girl, attack, 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 attack. And then she's got the anchors joining in. So it's, like all the kids at the playground, like just pow, pow, pow on Donald Trump. And so there's no point. Why would you do another debate like that? And you can't be assured of who the anchors and moderators are going to be and how they're going to treat you, whether they're going to treat you fairly or not. I mean, 100% of the coverage, this is amazing, on Kamala Harris on ABC News has been positive. Media Research Center crunched these numbers, while something like 90 some odd percent, like 98% of the coverage of Donald Trump has been negative. So think about that. Think about that bias. The lion's den that he was walking into. He sent out a Truth Social truth just yesterday, writing, when a prize fighter loses a fight, the first words out of his mouth are, I want a rematch. Polls clearly show that I won the debate against Comrade Kamala Harris, the Democrats' radical left candidate, on Tuesday night, and she immediately called for a second debate. She and Crooked Joe have destroyed our country, he writes, with millions of criminals and mentally deranged people pouring into the USA, totally unchecked and unvetted, with inflation bankrupting our middle class. Everyone knows this, and all the other problems caused by Kamala and Joe. It was discussed in great detail during the first debate with Joe and the second debate with Comrade Harris. She was a no-show at the Fox debate and refused to do NBC and CBS. Kamala should focus on what she should have done during the last almost 4-year period. There will be no third debate. Well, good. You know what? I'm glad about that. I really am, because I think it's a total waste of his time. She's just going to say, oh, we're going to turn the page. We're going to turn the page. We're going to turn the page. Nobody believes you can turn the page, because guess what? We've been on that page for the last 3.5 years, lady. Yeah, and that is exactly why when you look at the new polls coming out today, what do you see coming out of Michigan? Trump is ahead. This is the first time we've seen this. Insider Advantage reporting that Trump is up by 1 point, still within the margin of error. But it has a lot to do with the fact that nobody believes Kamala Harris is capable of actually fixing our economy. All she did was go after him. You know the drill. And, he had a few things to say about ABC, too.
We kind of expected it, because when you look at Media Research Center, they said 100% of the stories covered on ABC about Kamala, 100% of the time was positive. 93% of the time when they covered you, it was negative. So it was infuriating to watch them fact check you and not her when she brought up IVF, when she brought up Project 2025 several times, and when she brought up Charlottesville. Here are some of the lies that she said about you. Listen.
A detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing. Couples who pray.
Really quickly, I just want to say, in defense of Project 2025, first of all, it's not the president's plan. It's actually the Heritage Foundation's plan. And it's a really good plan. I mean, he's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, it's not mine, it's theirs. So sure, you may have some conservative economic thinkers that have put that one together. I got to tell you, it's really good. You should go check it out. All you have to do is go to 25truth.com, 25truth.com, and read about it, because it's really good. I'm actually going to check it in real time right now, because I want to make sure that I gave you the right address. 25truth. And it's like, what is she talking about? Like, actually, you know what? If he did adopt the entire thing, I'd be pretty darn happy, because it's got 4 pillars and they're all really good. Yeah, that's it. 25truth.com. And they're there. They're talking about the truth about Project 25. I don't know what all the fear mongering's about. It's really darn good, especially on the energy policy and on education policy about getting rid of the deep state. So lady, she's just like glommed onto this. And he's like, well, it's not my thing. Like, it's theirs, but it's really good. So check it out when you can. Project 2025, and all you have to do is go to 25truth.com. Let's continue listening to this woman who just is like boom, 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 after him and after him, and you're going to hear his response. And I have more to say, because there's some breaking news on ABC News that we got to get to.
And dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. If Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. On that day,
totally not true. Go to Snopes.com. Why do they keep perpetuating this? Why do they lie?
140 law enforcement officers were injured.
Oh boy.
And some died. Donald Trump, the candidate.
Okay, like, you know what? I can't listen to it all. I'm gonna, it's really annoying, right? She is very, very, very annoying. This is their danger, incidentally. You run a woman like that. They tried it once before with, forgive me, I almost said Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton. People could not stand Hillary Clinton. So it was as much a vote against Hillary as it was a vote for Trump back then. They wonder why they lost that. And here they are running someone who, by the way, really doesn't have the qualifications. I'm sorry, has never won anything. I mean, at least Hillary won the Senate. I would beg to differ. Kamala walked into the Senate there in California. That was kind of just a token election, for goodness sakes. She doesn't have the qualifications, and could she be more annoying than Hillary Clinton? I think so. Like, I actually had a very negative reaction to her. People did back in 2020, when she went all up, down, one side, the other on Joe Biden. About the busing thing, I showed you that clip yesterday. People don't like her. They fundamentally just don't like her. But let's hear what he has to say.
They ought to take away their license for the way they did that. Bloodbath was referring to the economy. Everybody loved the term because as soon as they heard the word, it's sort of a vicious word. But referring to the economy, they have created an economy. Bloodbath was the word that I used. And it was fine in that context. And they were trying to make it sound like there was a riot or something, and it was a bloodbath. IVF, I was a leader on IVF, the IVF, which is fertilization. I was a total leader on that. When I first heard about it, like right from the beginning, I was one of the leaders on it. And the Republican Party has been a leader on it. She tried to say it was just the opposite. The whole thing with abortion, what he said, I mean, it was incredible. I think he corrected me 6 times, and each time I was right. I believe each time I was right, didn't correct her at all, and she was saying these things. She was using, like, Charlottesville. She was using Charlottesville, and everybody, you take a look at Laura Ingraham, she did it incredibly. She had it totally debunked. She said that, in fact, it makes it angry. She gets angry when people hear about Charlottesville when they use that, because what they did is they stopped and they didn't put the following sentence in. And when they put the last sentence in, when it was all put together,
you know what they do? They take things out of context. And that's why I encourage you, make sure you subscribe, share, like, tell everybody the Trish Regan Show here live every day. I'm going to get to some of your comments later on in the program. But the reality is they will lie to you. They will manipulate whatever they can. And then they will turn around and say, no, it's the conservatives that are doing that. Remember, I actually showed you all that video of Joe Biden when he was really ailing. And I showed you the full-on clip, and yet they're sitting there saying still, cheap fakes, cheap fakes. No, guys, you could watch the entire clip and still come to the same conclusion. You didn't need to do any special editing or slow anything else down. You see everybody else walking fast, and Joe's walking really, really slow. In other words, if you'd actually listened to people on the other side, you never would have found yourself in this predicament to begin with unless this was all intended. You didn't need to have to take it away from Joe at the 11th hour to the point where he's so ticked off about it all. He's running around in a MAGA hat in Pennsylvania. Yeah, kid you not. You saw this, just so nobody says I'm making stuff up. Take a look. Talking to a Trump supporter, the guy's in a Trump hat, and then look at what he does. The guy takes the hat off, and he gives it to Biden. And then Biden puts it on. He has to have known what he was doing. You see that? He knew what he was doing. He is a little angry, as he should be. He should be with Kamala Harris. So now she's got a whole stack of problems in front of her, a whole stack of problems.